the 10 states affected by the first aggregate of form, or rupa. Ananda, when you sit in meditation, if your thoughts are wiped out, the state of your mind, now free from them, will be clear and will not be changed by either stillness or disturbance. In this state, both remembrance and forgetfulness are one undivided whole. While in it, and before realizing samadhi, you are like a man whose eyes are clear, but who is still in the dark. For though your mind is clear, it does not yet shine. This is the aggregate of form that conditions your meditation. If your mind radiates, you will clearly perceive all the 10 directions of space. This disappearance of darkness is called the ending of rupa, and you will then leap over and beyond the turbid kalpa, the main cause of which is your wrong thinking. Ananda, in this profound and clear state of your penetrating mind, the 4 elements cease to hinder you, and after a little your body will be free from all hindrance. This is your clear mind spreading to its objects and shows the effectiveness of your meditation, the temporary achievement of which does not mean that you are a saint. If you do not regard it as such, it is an excellent progressive stage. But if you do, you will succumb to demons. Ananda, in this profound and clear state of your penetrating mind, you will be able to discern everything clearly in your body and will suddenly see lively tapeworms. This is your clear mind spreading in your body and shows its effective functioning, the temporary achievement of which does not mean that you are a saint. If you do not regard it as such, it is an excellent progressive stage. But if you do, you will succumb to demons. Further, in this state of mind, which penetrates both within and without, your spirit and faculties, though not in your body, will intermingle as principles or hosts, and accessories or guests, and suddenly you will hear a voice in the air preaching the Dharma or proclaiming its secret meaning in the 10 directions. This is your spirit and faculties, which unite with or disengage from one another to sow the excellent seed, the temporary realization of which does not mean that you are a saint. If you do not regard it as such, it is an excellent progressive stage. But if you do, you will succumb to demons. Further, in this clear, revealing, bright, and penetrating state of mind, your inner light radiates and gilds everything in the 10 directions, wherein all living beings are transformed into Buddhas. Suddenly you will see Vairocana, seated on a radiant throne, surrounded by thousands of Buddhas, with hundreds of lakhs of countries and of lotus flowers, all of which appear at once. This is the effect of being awakened by your mind's spirituality, the light of which penetrates and shines on all the worlds. This temporary achievement does not mean you are a saint. If you do not regard it as such, it is an excellent progressive stage. But if you do, you will succumb to demons. Further, if your penetrating mind, in its profound and clear state, continues to look within without pause, and so checks and stops completely all thinking, you will suddenly see space in the 10 directions change into the colors of the 7 or of 100 precious gems, which fill the whole space without hindering one another. All colors, such as blue, yellow, red, white, etc., appear in utter purity. This is hard-pressed efficiency, the temporary achievement of which does not mean you are a saint. If you do not regard it as such, it is an excellent progressive stage. But if you do, you will give way to the demons. In this clear and penetrating state of your mind, when it looks within, its light appears in all its purity, and at midnight you will suddenly see in your dark room all sorts of apparitions as clearly as in broad daylight, with all the other objects usually there. This is the mind in its subtlety, refining its clear perception, which enables you to see distinctly in the dark. This temporary achievement does not mean you are a saint. If you do not regard it as such, it is an excellent progressive stage. But if you do, you will give way to demons. As the mind merges with the void, Suddenly your 4 limbs will be like grass and plants, and will feel nothing even if burned by fire or cut by a knife. This immunity from injury results from the amalgamation of mind and externals, and with the elimination of the 4 elements as it emerges with the void. This temporary achievement does not mean you are a saint, and if you do not regard it as such, it is an excellent progressive stage. But if you do, you will give way to demons. As your mind becomes pure and clean, its uttermost purification causes you to see suddenly the great earth, mountains, and rivers in the 10 directions change into the Buddha's pure land, adorned with all sorts of precious gems, whose radiance is all-pervading. You will again see clearly Buddhas as countless as the Ganges sands, with beautiful temple buildings filling the whole of space, with the hells underneath and diva palaces above. This is the transformation of usually deep-rooted thoughts of like and dislike, but does not mean you are a saint. If you do not regard it as such, it is an excellent progressive stage. But if you do, you will give way to demons. As your mind penetrates deeper, you will suddenly see at midnight far away marketplaces, streets, and lanes, as well as members of your family, your relatives, and classmen, or hear them speak. This results from the hard-pressed mind, which expands so that you see these things no matter how far away. This does not mean you are a saint, and if you do not regard it as such, it is an excellent progressive stage. But if you do, you will give way to demons. As a result of your mind's further penetration, you will see men of good counsel, whose bodies change without reason in all kinds of ways. This is your perverse mind, which is influenced by mischievous ghosts or heavenly demons, and which without reason preaches the Dharma and comprehends its profound meaning. This does not mean you are a saint, and if you do not regard it as such, Mara's influence will vanish. But if you do, you will give way to demons. Ananda, these 10 states of dhyana come from the intermingling of the aggregate of form with the meditative mind. Deluded and wayward practicers do not know their own capabilities, cannot distinguish these states when they manifest, and wrongly declare that they are saints. By so doing, they break the prohibition against lying, and so fall into the uninterrupted hell. After my nirvana, in the Dharma ending age, you should proclaim this teaching, so that the heavenly demons cannot take advantage of such states, and practicers can be on their guard and realize the supreme Tao.